For 2 years, I lived quietly in my small house on Maple Street. My life was simple. Work during the day, dinner alone at night, and sometimes watching old movies before bed. Across the street lived my neighbor, Emma. She was friendly, but distant, always waving politely when we crossed paths, but never staying long enough to talk. Emma lived with her boyfriend, so I never thought much about her beyond being the neighbor who watered her plants every evening. Then one evening, everything changed. I was mowing my lawn when Emma walked over, something she had never done before. She looked a little nervous, but smiled. "Hey," she said, brushing a strand of hair behind her ear. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure," I replied, turning off the mower. "I just realized, you live here alone, right?" I laughed. "Yeah, been single for a while." Her eyes widened slightly, like she had just discovered a secret. "Really?" she said. "I always thought you had someone." "Nope," I said. "Just me and my terrible cooking skills." She laughed. A real laugh this time, not the quick, polite one I usually heard. That evening, we talked for almost an hour by the fence. It was the longest conversation we had ever had. She told me she had broken up with her boyfriend a few weeks earlier. I told her about my boring office job and my failed attempts at learning guitar. After that day, things started to change between us. Emma began stopping by more often. Sometimes it was to borrow sugar or ask about my plants. Other times she would just stand by the fence and talk about her day. Soon our conversations moved from the fence to my porch. One Friday evening, she knocked on my door holding 2 cups of coffee. "I figured you shouldn't drink terrible coffee alone," she said with a smile. We sat on the porch as the sun went down, talking and laughing like old friends. Weeks passed, and our friendship grew into something warmer. We watched movies together, cooked dinners, and even went on late-night walks around the neighborhood. One night, as we sat on the porch again, Emma looked at me thoughtfully. "You know," she said softly, "it's funny." "What is?" I asked. "I lived across from you for 2 years, and I never noticed you were the kind of person I needed." I smiled. Better late than never. She laughed and leaned her head on my shoulder. And in that quiet moment, I realized something surprising. Sometimes love isn't about finding someone new. Sometimes it's about finally noticing the person who was right next door all along.